Hi, this is Angela from Ascended World, bringing you element 13 about relationships, which is part of the Worthiness course provided by the Adventures in Wonderland program. How about that rabbit hole? And we could do a course on relationships alone, probably easily a 30-day course. I mean, so many elements that have to do with our relationships because they're all reflections back to us that we've agreed upon. And so there is so much underneath relationships, but so many issues we have with relationships and the way they play out in our lives have to do with worthiness. And so this is they're all very important, but this is very key in many things and so many different areas and so many different directions. So since I know you've already looked at the workbook and done the exercise, I'm just going to look at what we have as the statement, as the prompts, right? I have a great relationship with myself. My relationship with myself is my top priority over all relationships. Yeah, that is key. And we'll come back to that in a second. I easily attract and maintain quality relationships that allow me to be my authentic self and experience joy and fulfillment. Whoa, both of those big mouthfuls with a lot of energy behind them. Because let me tell you something. When we have one relationship after another where something falls short, right? And what we want or like we desire to have, then it's usually because we believe we're not worthy of having that in a relationship. So, we believe also that relationships, have to be work, that we have to, overcome some major things, all that kind of stuff. But what we forget is we put so much weight on the relationship with others, and we're so concerned with it. These are all self-sacrifices, right? We go, oh, well, he's upset, she's upset. I don't want to upset her. I don't want to upset him. And this can be spouses, lovers, children, parents, friends, peers, all that kind of stuff. I don't want to upset them. I am going to repress that part of myself. And even though deep down, I would really love to have a friendship or a relationship where I could be this way. Well, that goes back to when I did, element 11 on expression. And then an element 12, which is the whole authenticity. I'm allowed to be authentically me, right? So these are two things that we tend to pull back and we sacrifice because we believe we have to give up something to be in a relationship, and that the relationship in essence is more important than us, that we're not worthy of being whole and full without a relationship. So many people, so many have come to me, and these are all across the range of consciousness, even those who've been doing this for ages as part of, their life practice. And they say, oh, I'm just so ready to have, what's the matter? Why can't I attract somebody to be, my significant other or have this kind of relationship that I desire or whatever? And it's like, well, first and foremost, are you having that relationship with yourself? And you can say you do, but here's the thing. If you truly did, then you wouldn't be looking for anybody else. If you truly had a great relationship with yourself and made the relationship with yourself a top priority over all of the relationships, you would not need to look anyplace else. You would be in that place. And our goal at the end of the day comes down to what is our course number 7, all about self-love, unconditional self-love and self-nourishment. Coming to a place that I am happy with myself. I'm whole and complete within me. Because when we say relationship, often we mean I need to complete myself through that relationship, right? And again, it doesn't have to be like a lover or spouse situation. It can just be friends or the types of friends you attract, or your family or your children. There's so many different aspects and the kinds of relationships that we build. But when we believe that we're unworthy to be whole within ourselves, really that's where it comes from, right? Then we feel like we have to have relationships to complete us, to make us happy, to make us feel wanted and worthy and loved and all that kind of stuff. I remember having a conversation with somebody who had said, well, they had been a caretaker to several elders in the family who passed away in a very short period of time. And they went through a massive depression because they're like, well, I'm not needed. Like I need to feel needed. And then they got a dog. But and then sort of had a codependency with the dog. So the thing is, we say that I need this in a relationship, right? And it's to shift ourselves to a place of, I have a fabulous relationship with me. I am complete within myself, right? And saying that, I am absolutely not saying that you aren't ever to have a relationship ever again. I am saying that when we come to that place within ourselves, when we realize we are worthy of being whole within ourselves, without needing somebody to complete us, without needing something else outside of us in a relationship, that is actually when we build the best relationships. So I'm not saying that you're never going to have a relationship again. I'm saying that's the best time and the best way to form relationships, because then you come to them from a place of equality, of walking together down the path of non-attachment, of a place of saying, I love being with you. I love our journey next to each other. And one day it might be time for us to split off on our journeys, and that's okay too. And then we don't suppress our authenticity in the relationship or hold ourselves back, because then we feel like, oh, if I lose this relationship, I'm going to have a hole. I'm not going to be whole, all that kind of stuff. And so like, there's a lot of contention about that. The ego balks and freaks out when you start saying that. What do you mean, right? What do you mean that relationships aren't important? What do you mean you don't need this relationship or that relationship? And my response to that is, isn't it so much better and so much freer to come to the table from a place of complete wholeness, to say, I am happy and in unconditional love with myself, and I don't need you, but I truly, but I don't need you. However, I really, truly enjoy our presence together. I really enjoy our being together, because then we have so much fun from a place of freedom and expansion and mutual respect and mutual support, because there's nothing that one of us needs that the other one doesn't have. I mean, sorry, there's nothing that one of us believes the other one has that we need, because we realize we have it all within ourselves. Said that backwards, right? So this year, so key. Like I said, we could take at least an entire month unraveling all these relationships, because even relationships with our animals, right? That too. I need to feel loved. I need to feel, unconditionally loved, because I obviously don't unconditionally love myself without that expression of love in my reality. That's a really deep one, because many can't stand just like not having pets around, because it's just like some people can't stand not having kids around because of that, because they feel needed, they feel wanted, they feel loved, they feel, like we have equated at some level a dependence on others. It means that we love them, or being dependent on by others means that we're loved. Woof, woof, there's so much weight to that. So when we free ourselves of that, to say, you know what? I love myself so much. I unconditionally love myself. I have a great relationship with myself. Then I can freely have relationships without need, without limitation, and without, holding myself back because of them. So let's get on this one today, shall we? And that's the other thing, is that's why we have cruddy relationships. And many times we have ones that are like, they're codependent, they're suffocating. We allow them to limit us. We allow them to hold us back, because at some level we don't believe we're worthy of coming to that place of unconditional self-love and having that great relationship with ourselves, and that we need those relationships in our lives. And the more we do that, the more we perpetuate that, the longer it's preventing us from looking in the mirror to really come to a place of acceptance and self-love within ourselves. We put it off and put it off, put it off. Yeah. Oh, I'll just get another cat. I'll just get another dog. I'll just get another whatever. I'll just have another child. I'll get into another relationship. I will, serve the community. I'll serve others, because it fills this hole that I believe I have to, fill. And it's not that we don't, like, it's not for us to not help each other, because helping each other comes from that, when that nourishment, as Sarah had talked about on the day with feeding nourishment. When that nourishment comes from the inside, from ourselves, then we overflow with it, but we do it without expectation and obligation for reciprocity. And that's the free love, free giving, free expression, and authenticity in all ways. So see how this all interacts? Okay. So our creation statement for today is, I am worthy to remember how to and allow myself to make my relationship with me priority and top notch, and to easily attract and maintain rewarding, joyful, and I'm going to add free in there, relationships. So let's take a deep breath, close our eyes, open our hearts as we step out of separation into our wholeness, oneness, and hold ourselves at the vibration where all that is our truth and everything else falls away. Okay. Stay out there for an hour. As I say, like every time, right? It felt really good. All right. Come back and do that like 20 times or so. I think we can all use that in some way, shape, or form. But our affirmation is, I'm worthy for my relationship with myself to be priority and top notch. I easily attract and maintain rewarding relationships. So thanks for joining. Sit in that and really, really meditate on it and delve into it today. And we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.